Hi everybody, it's Mr. Sutton, and I'm here to go over the concept of pose-to-pose. We did already um, the straightforward or the straight ahead, and now I want to show you how to do the pose-to-pose. So again, straight ahead and pose-to-pose is really a mindset thing, the way you're animating. In straight ahead, we started with the first block, first position for the character, and we moved the character one block at a time till we got it where it was going to be. We didn't add anything in the middle. We didn't really know where we were going to end up. We just knew we wanted to start. So in pose-to-pose, it's the opposite mindset. What we need to do is we need to create a animation that is going to start and stop in a very specific spot. And then we fill in the in-betweens, looking for key positions in between that we want the character to be and so forth. So let's take a look at how to do that. First thing I want to do is I want to change the name. It's called Untitled right now. So we're going to make that pose to pose underscore Sutton. All right, so now it's got a name that's meaningful, and we'll be able to share it and everything else. All right, so first thing I want is to pick out where is the cat going to start. Right now it looks like he's on the sidewalk, either going to cross through that crosswalk or turn and go down that way. So what I want to do is I could bring him back further on the sidewalk. I could put him in the street. I can put him down on this sidewalk if I wanted to. Let's bring him onto this sidewalk here. And if we look at the relative size here, first thing that comes to my mind is he's too big for that spot. So I want to always consider things like that as I'm illustrating. He's as tall as the windows. So what I'd like to do is I'm going to choose this size block, and maybe I'm going to start at 50%. So now I have a cat that fits into the scene better. So remember how we started with the position block? I want to start with the same kind of position block again. He is now at, if we look here, negative 207 and negative 10. By placing him there, it already put that in the block. So every time that I'm going to use again the handy dandy green flag. Every time I click the green flag, no matter where the cat is, he's going to go back to that spot. All right. So now, what I want to do next, I want to pick where I want the cat to end up. So in order to do that, I gotta plan what my whole scene is going to look like, and have the cat walk to here, and then cross this crosswalk, and like exit this scene here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the cat here. Just let's get it back to where it was. Before I do anything else, I want to make sure the cat is in that position and in that look. So we're going to go to the switch to costume, and we're going to put that there, and we're going to make sure. So this is the beginning. The cat is always, no matter where I go and what I do with the cat, is always going to be in that position. Now we can work on the ending spot. So we want the cat walking off in this direction. So a couple of changes I need to make. First of all, on this end, I'm going to leave it separate for now, although I could put it together because I could still work in between. I'm going to make the cat 50 to make it large again, positive 50 now. I want to turn the cat. I don't want the cat walking this way and then kind of walking backwards across here, so I want the cat to be turned. So how can I do that? Well, one way is I can select everything on the cat. Let's make a duplicate. I'm going to right click on that and duplicate. So now I have two that look exactly the same. And what I can do is select everything on this one, Command A, and then I can flip it You can flip vertically or horizontally. I want to flip it horizontally. So now he's walking in the other direction, which is, I'm going to name that, instead of costume 3, I'm going to say flipped, so that I can remember which costume that is. That'll help me remember it. Okay, so now back to the code. So at that position, he's going to be at -92, -154. So let's go to motion, and we're going to choose the go to -92, -154. So now, another key spot for where the cat is going to be should be over here as he's getting ready to cross. This is really where I'm going to want to face that direction. So it's walking in this direction. I want it to face this direction. So I'm going to leave this down here. And in the center, I'm picking this other key spot. I'm going to switch costumes to flipped. And let's change the size here . Let's do that before. Change the size by, let's do 10% each time and we're going to put 5 different steps in to get that back to full size. So I'm going to make the last one 10, and we still need to add 3 more changes at some point. So now the cat's starting here, it's going to walk here, it's going to get larger when it gets here, and it's going to change direction. So now I got to figure out, well, halfway in between, which is somewhere around here, halfway in between here and here, I'm going to add another 10%. So I'm going to change by 10 here. And again, I can put them together. I don't have to put them together. I'm just going to leave them apart here just to give us some space to work on. So let's go back to motion. We're going to grab the go to okay. We need that one. We need to get the position back on this one, which was that. And I'm going to give some more separation so I have room to work. So now we have sort of this motion, but how do we get from here to here? This is kind of jumpy. We need to add some wait times in between. So let's do the wait. At the beginning, let's do a ½ second, so 0.5. Then we're going to have it move. Let's do 20. And we want to get that walking motion going with the legs, so we want to change the costumes there. So we're going to change to to costume 2. Right, because costume 2 is the one that has the legs looking like they're walking, but in this direction. Then we're going to duplicate that a little bit. So let's, oops, what did I do there? I clicked the wrong thing, but it worked out anyway. Okay, so we're going to have it, I don't want so long a wait there. I'm going to make this 1.2 seconds. I move another 20 steps, so that's 20, 40. We have to go still quite a bit. You know what, let's do this. 40 here, 40 here. And then we can have it go to here. But let's duplicate again. Now we want to get to here. So this one's going to be costume 1, costume 2, costume 1, costume 2. Let's see what we've got so far. So now, there we go. So we now walked and got to that position. Now we want to get the rest of the way to this position and get gradually bigger as we do. So let's add a weight in there. So that's under control. So I'm going to wait 0.2 seconds. Here we are at 93 and we want to get to 53, but positive. This is negative. So we have to move 140 to get to here. So let's do a couple of moves. Okay, so now I want to switch the costumes again. I'm going to take the switch costume 2, block, put it here, and turn it to costume 1. Then I want to duplicate these. So the character is kind of moving a little quicker because I have the bigger steps. They're moving by 70s instead of 50, so that's going to make it look like the character's going faster. Then when it gets to the corner, so I got to go 140. That's 140. I'm going to add a little weight in there. So let's give this one a 0.8. I want it to wait a little longer and change flip. And let's see what that looks like at this point. And let's try it again. Okay, so that now the character is turned and it's going to come in this direction. One of the things I didn't think about is I have to change the other costume as well to be flipped in the other direction to continue to get that walking look. So I'm going to duplicate that one as well. So right click, duplicate, and then I'm going to select all. So Command A on a Mac or Control A on a PC, and I'm going to flip it horizontally. So now I have the second position for the cat there as well. And I'm going to call this costume 2 flipped. So let's go back to the code till we eventually get to the biggest here. So as it's walking across, let's have it, we're going to use the motion. Let's pick a center point. And in fact, I'm going to pick something a little closer than the center point. We're going to have it going to that point. So we're going to add that position in. Now in between, we wanted to do a little bit of walking. So again, let's do some switches here. Add some wait time like we always do. Let's make it 0.2. We're back to 0.2 again. We're going to change the look to costume 2 flipped. And we're not going to move because move is just moving it horizontally. So we're not going to go to move. We're going to do something in between those 2 points. So let's go here. And we're going to do go to. And because I've set the cat, we already have that. And we're going to increase it 10%. So let's go change size by 10. Then we're going to give it a little wait time so we can see it. 0.2 again. 0.2. We're going to change back to costume 1. So that's under looks. Sorry, we're changing back to flipped. So now we're going to add this in. We're going to add some wait time again. 0.2. We're going to switch the look again. So we're going to go to costume 2 flipped. We're going to now put it in to go to this position and change by 10 again. And we're going to change back to costume flipped. And if I got all that, we should be in pretty decent shape here. Let's run it and see what happens. One of the things that you can do, because remember I keep having to change the size back here, I'm going to go back to the beginning and let's go set size to 100%. Let's do that instead. There we go. And now we got the cat moving to different positions, and we set some key blocks. Remember what we did, we set some spots that we wanted the cat to make sure that it hit. And we basically have something that looks like the cat's taking a walk, stopping and turning, and then coming across the street. So this is pose to pose because we started out with the first pose, we ended with the last pose, and then we picked key spots in between. We did the middle pose, then we did one here, then we did 2 more in here to get the cat to where we wanted it to be in the right size. And because I have it now set to 100%, I can click the green and it will start in the right position and do what I ask it to do. So that's it for pose to pose. Again, this is a kind of a simple animation, although it's pretty long. You can see there's quite a few things that I needed to do in there. I want you to think of a more complicated story at least, and come up with your own motions and what you want your characters to do. Be thinking in terms of story. It's always best if you're animating to be thinking in terms of story. All right, so that's it for straight ahead and pose to pose.